Numbers chapter 21. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of Atharim. He fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Israel vowed a vow to Yahweh and said, "If you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities." Yahweh listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. The name of the place was called Hormah. They traveled from Mount Hor by the way to the Red Sea, to go around the land of Edom. The soul of the people was very discouraged because of the journey. The people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, there is no water, and our soul loathes this disgusting food." Yahweh sent venomous snakes among the people, and they bit the people. Many people of Israel died. The people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned, because we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray to Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us." Moses prayed for the people. Yahweh said to Moses, "Make a venomous snake and set it on a pole. It shall happen that everyone who is bitten when he sees it shall live." Moses made a serpent of bronze and set it on the pole. If a serpent had bitten any man, when he looked at the serpent of bronze, he lived. The children of Israel traveled and encamped in Oboth. They traveled from Oboth and encamped at Yebarim, in the wilderness which is before Moab, toward the sunrise. From there they traveled and encamped in the valley of Zered. From there they traveled and encamped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that comes out of the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore, it is said in the book of the wars of Yahweh, "Vaheb in Suphah, the valleys of the Arnon, the slope of the valleys that incline toward the dwelling of Ar, leans on the border of Moab." From there they traveled to Beer. That is the well of which Yahweh said to Moses, "Gather the people together, and I will give them water." Then Israel sang this song: "Spring up, well, sing to it the well, which the princes dug, which the nobles of the people dug with the scepter and with their poles." From the wilderness they traveled to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley that is in the field of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, "Let me pass through your land. We will not turn away into field or vineyard. We will not drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway, until we have passed your border." Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together, and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and came to Jahaz. He fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, even to the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was fortified. Israel took all these cities. Israel lived in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even to the Arnon. Therefore those who speak in Proverbs say, "Come to Heshbon. Let the city of Sihon be built and established. For a fire has gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has devoured Ar of Moab, the lords of the high places of the Arnon." Woe to you, Moab! You are undone, people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives, and his daughters into captivity, to Sihon king of the Amorites. We have shot at them. Heshbon has perished even to Dibon. We have laid waste even to Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent to spy out Jazer. They took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. They turned and went up by the way of Bashan. Og the king of Bashan went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. Yahweh said to Moses, "Don't fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand with all his people and his land. You shall do to him as you did to Sihon king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon. So they struck him with his sons and all his people until there were no survivors, and they possessed his land. Numbers chapter 22. The children of Israel traveled and encamped in the plains of Moab beyond the Jordan at Jericho. Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. Moab was very afraid of the people, because they were many. Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Now this multitude will lick up all that is around us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field." Balak the son of Zippor was king of Moab at that time. He sent messengers to Balaam the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river, to the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, "Behold, there is a people who came out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the surface of the earth, and they are staying opposite me. Please come now, therefore, and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall prevail that we may strike them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed." The elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. They came to Balaam, and spoke to him the words of Balak. He said to them, "Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as Yahweh shall speak to me." The princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. God came to Balaam, and said, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has said to me, Behold, the people that has come out of Egypt covers the surface of the earth. Now come, curse them for me. Perhaps I shall be able to fight against them, and shall drive them out." God said to Balaam, "You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed." Balaam rose up in the morning, and said to the princes of Balak, "Go to your land, for Yahweh refuses to permit me to go with you." The princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said, "Balaam refuses to come with us." Balak again sent princes, more and more honorable than they. They came to Balaam and said to him, "Balak the son of Zippor says, Please let nothing hinder you from coming to me, for I will promote you to very great honor, and whatever you say to me I will do. Please come therefore, and curse this people for me." Balaam answered the servants of Balak, "If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond the word of Yahweh my God, to do less or more. Now therefore please stay here tonight as well, that I may know what else Yahweh will speak to me." God came to Balaam at night and said to him, "If the men have come to call you, rise up, go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, that you shall do." Balaam rose up in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. God's anger burned because he went, and Yahweh's angel placed himself in the way as an adversary against him. Now he was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. The donkey saw Yahweh's angel standing in the way, with his sword drawn in his hand. And the donkey turned out of the path and went into the field. Balaam struck the donkey to turn her into the path. Then Yahweh's angel stood in a narrow path between the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. The donkey saw Yahweh's angel, and she thrust herself to the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. He struck her again. Yahweh's angel went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. The donkey saw Yahweh's angel, and she lay down under Balaam. Balaam's anger burned, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Yahweh opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you, that you have struck me these 3 times?" Balaam said to the donkey, "Because you have mocked me, I wish there were a sword in my hand, for now I would have killed you." The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all your life long until today? Was I ever in the habit of doing so to you?" He said, "No." Then Yahweh opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw Yahweh's angel standing in the way, with his sword drawn in his hand. And he bowed his head and fell on his face. Yahweh's angel said to him, "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come out as an adversary, because your way is perverse before me. The donkey saw me and turned away before me these 3 times. Unless she had turned away from me, surely now I would have killed you and saved her alive." Balaam said to Yahweh's angel, "I have sinned, for I didn't know that you stood in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displeases you, I will go back again." Yahweh's angel said to Balaam, "Go with the men, but you shall only speak the word that I shall speak to you." So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam had come, he went out to meet him to the city of Moab, which is on the border of the Arnon, which is in the utmost part of the border. Balak said to Balaam, "Didn't I earnestly send for you to summon you? Why didn't you come to me? Am I not able indeed to promote you to honor?" Balaam said to Balak, "Behold, I have come to you. Have I now any power at all to speak anything? I will speak the word that God puts in my mouth." Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath-Huzoth. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, and sent to Balaam and to the princes who were with him. In the morning Balak took Balaam, and brought him up into the high places of Baal, and he saw from there part of the people. Numbers chapter 23. Balaam said to Balak, "Build here 7 altars for me, and prepare here 7 bulls and 7 rams for me." Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bull and a ram. Balaam said to Balak, "Stand by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps Yahweh will come to meet me. Whatever he shows me, I will tell you." He went to a bare height. God met Balaam, and he said to him, "I have prepared the 7 altars, and I have offered up a bull and a ram on every altar." Yahweh put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, "Return to Balak, and thus you shall speak." He returned to him, and behold, he was standing by his burnt offering, he and all the princes of Moab. He took up his parable, and said, "From Aram has Balak brought me, the king of Moab from the mountains of the east. Come, curse Jacob for me. Come, defy Israel. How shall I curse whom God has not cursed? How shall I defy whom Yahweh has not defied? For from the top of the rocks I see him, from the hills I see him. Behold, it is a people that dwells alone, and shall not be listed among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, or count the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous. Let my last end be like his." Balak said to Balaam, "What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have blessed them altogether." He answered and said, "Must I not take heed to speak that which Yahweh puts in my mouth?" Balak said to him, "Please come with me to another place where you may see them. You shall see just part of them, and shall not see them all. Curse them from there for me." He took him into the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. He said to Balak, "Stand here by your burnt offering, while I meet God over there." Yahweh met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, "Return to Balak, and say this." He came to him, and behold, he was standing by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. Balak said to him, "What has Yahweh spoken?" He took up his parable and said, "Rise up, Balak, and hear. Listen to me, you son of Zippor. God is not a man, that he should lie, nor a son of man, that he should repent. Has he said, and he won't do it? Or has he spoken, and he won't make it good? Behold, I have received a command to bless. He has blessed, and I can't reverse it. He has not seen iniquity in Jacob, neither has he seen perverseness in Israel. Yahweh his God is with him. The shout of a king is among them. God brings them out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. Surely there is no enchantment with Jacob. neither is there any divination with Israel. Now it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what has God done? Behold, a people rises up as a lioness. As a lion he lifts himself up. He shall not lie down until he eats of the prey, and drinks the blood of the slain. Balak said to Balaam, neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. But Balaam answered Balak, didn't I tell you, saying, all that Yahweh speaks that I must do? Balak said to Balaam, come now, I will take you to another place. Perhaps it will please God that you may curse them for me from there. Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, that looks down on the desert. Balaam said to Balak, build 7 altars for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. Numbers chapter 24. When Balaam saw that it pleased Yahweh to bless Israel, he didn't go, as at the other times, to use divination, but he set his face toward the wilderness. Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel dwelling according to their tribes. And the Spirit of God came on him. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eyes are open says, he says, who hears the words of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down, and having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, Jacob, and your dwellings, Israel. As valleys they are spread out, as gardens by the riverside, as aloes which Yahweh has planted, as cedar trees beside the waters. Water shall flow from his buckets. His seed shall be in many waters. His king shall be higher than Agag. His kingdom shall be exalted. God brings him out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. He shall consume the nations, his adversaries, shall break their bones in pieces, and pierce them with his arrows. He couched, he lay down as a lion, as a lioness. Who shall rouse him up? Everyone who blesses you is blessed. Everyone who curses you is cursed. Balak's anger burned against Balaam, and he struck his hands together. Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have altogether blessed them these 3 times. Therefore flee to your place now. I thought to promote you to great honor. But behold, Yahweh has kept you back from honor. Balaam said to Balak, didn't I also tell your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond Yahweh's word, to do either good or bad from my own mind. I will say what Yahweh says. Now behold, I go to my people. Come, I will inform you what this people shall do to your people in the latter days. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eyes are open says, he says, who hears the words of God, knows the knowledge of the Most High, and who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes open. I see him, but not now. I see him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob. A scepter will rise out of Israel, and shall strike through the corners of Moab, and crush all the sons of Sheth. Edom shall be a possession. Seir, his enemy, also shall be a possession. While Israel does valiantly, out of Jacob shall one have dominion, and shall destroy the remnant from the city. He looked at Amalek, and took up his parable, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall come to destruction. He looked at the Kenite, and took up his parable, and said, your dwelling place is strong, your nest is set in the rock. Nevertheless, Cain shall be wasted, until Ashur carries you away captive. He took up his parable, and said, alas, who shall live when God does this? But ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, they shall afflict Asher, and shall afflict Eber. He also shall come to destruction. Balaam rose up, and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. Numbers chapter 25. Israel stayed in Shittim, and the people began to play the prostitute with the daughters of Moab, for they called the people to the sacrifices of their gods. The people ate and bowed down to their gods. Israel joined himself to Baal-peor, and Yahweh's anger burned against Israel. Yahweh said to Moses, "Take all the chiefs of the people, and hang them up to Yahweh before the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may turn away from Israel." Moses said to the judges of Israel, "Everyone kill his men who have joined themselves to Baal-peor." Behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought to his brothers a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, while they were weeping at the door of the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from the middle of the congregation, and took a spear in his hand. He went after the man of Israel into the pavilion, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel, and the woman through her body. So the plague was stopped among the children of Israel. Those who died by the plague were 24,000. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, in that he was jealous with my jealousy among them, so that I didn't consume the children of Israel in my jealousy. Therefore say, Behold, I give to him my covenant of peace. It shall be to him and to his offspring after him, the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was jealous for his God, and made atonement for the children of Israel." Now the name of the man of Israel that was slain, who was slain with the Midianite woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a father's house among the Simeonites. The name of the Midianite woman who was slain was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur. He was head of the people of a father's house in Midian. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Harass the Midianites and strike them, for they harassed you with their wiles, wherein they have deceived you in the matter of Peor, and in the incident regarding Cosbi, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, who was slain on the day of the plague in the matter of Peor." Numbers chapter 26. After the plague, Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, saying, "Take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel, from 20 years old and upward, by their fathers' houses, all who are able to go out to war in Israel." Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, "Take a census from 20 years old and upward, as Yahweh commanded Moses and the children of Israel. These are those who came out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, the sons of Reuben, of Hanok, the family of the Hanokites, of Palu, the family of the Paluites, of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Carmi, the family of the Carmites. These are the families of the Reubenites. And those who were counted of them were 43,730. The son of Palu, Eliab. The sons of Eliab, Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. These are that Dathan and Abiram who were called by the congregation, who rebelled against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah, when they rebelled against Yahweh. And the earth opened its mouth, and swallowed them up together with Korah when that company died. At the time, the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. Notwithstanding, the sons of Korah didn't die. The sons of Simeon after their families, of Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites, of Jamin, the family of the Jaminites, of Jachin, the family of the Jachinites, of Zerah, the family of the Zerahites, of Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These are the families of the Simeonites, 22,200. The sons of Gad after their families, of Zephon, the family of the Zephonites, of Haggi, the family of the Haggites, of Shuni, the family of the Shunites, of Ozni, the family of the Oznites, of Eri, the family of the Erites, of Arod, the family of the Arodites, of Areli, the family of the Arelites. These are the families of the sons of Gad, according to those who were counted of them, 40,500. The sons of Judah, and Onan. And Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Judah after their families were, of Shelah, the family of the Shelonites; of Perez, the family of the Perezites; of Zerah, the family of the Zerahites. The sons of Perez were, of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites; of Hamul, the family of the Hamulites. These are the families of Judah according to those who were counted of them, 76,500. The sons of Issachar after their families, of Tola, the family of the Tolites; of Puvah, the family of the Punites; of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites; of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These are the families of Issachar according to those who were counted of them, 64,300. The sons of Zebulun after their families, of Sered, the family of the Seredites; of Elon, the family of the Elonites; of Jalil, the family of the Jalilites. These are the families of the Zebulunites according to those who were counted of them, 60,500. The sons of Joseph after their families, Manasseh and Ephraim. The sons of Manasseh, of Mashir, the family of the Mashirites. And Mashir became the father of Gilead; of Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead, of Ezer, the family of the Ezerites; of Helek, the family of the Helekites; and Asriel, the family of the Asrielites; and Shechem, the family of the Shechemites; and Shemida, the family of the Shemidaites; and Hepher, the family of the Hepherites. Zelophehad the son of Hepher had no sons but daughters, and the names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the families of Manasseh. Those who were counted of them were 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim after their families, of Shuthelah, the family of the Shuthelahites; of Becher, the family of the Becherites; of Tahan, the family of the Tahanites. These are the sons of Shuthelah of Iran, the family of the Eranites. These are the families of the sons of Ephraim, according to those who were counted of them, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph after their families. The sons of Benjamin after their families, of Bela, the family of the Belates; of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites; of Ahiram, the family of the Ahiramites; of Shephaphim, the family of the Shuppamites; of Huppam, the family of the Huppamites. The sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman, the family of the Ardites; and of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. These are the sons of Benjamin after their families. And those who were counted of them were 45,600. These are the sons of Dan after their families, of Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These are the families of Dan after their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, according to those who were counted of them, were 64,400. The sons of Asher after their families, of Imnah, the family of the Imnites; of Ishvi, the family of the Ishvites; of Beriah, the family of the Berites. Of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites; of Malkiel, the family of the Malkielites. The name of the daughter of Asher was Serah. These are the families of the sons of Asher, according to those who were counted of them, 53,400. The sons of Naphtali after their families, of Jazeel, the family of the Jazelites; of Guni, the family of the Gunites; of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites; of Shillem, the family of the Shillemites. These are the families of Naphtali according to their families, and those who were counted of them were 45,400. These are those who were counted of the children of Israel, 601,730. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "To these the land shall be divided for an inheritance according to the number of names. To the more you shall give, the more inheritance, and to the fewer you shall give, the less inheritance. To everyone according to those who were counted of him shall his inheritance be given. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot. According to the names of the tribes of their fathers they shall inherit. According to the lot shall their inheritance be divided, between the more and the fewer. These are those who were counted of the Levites after their families: of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites; of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites; of Merari, the family of the Merarites. These are the families of Levi, the family of the Libnites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahalites, the family of the Mushites, and the family of the Korahites. Kohath became the father of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. She bore to Amram Aaron and Moses, and Miriam their sister. To Aaron were born Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. Nadab and Abihu died when they offered strange fire before Yahweh. Those who were counted of them were 23,000, every male from a month old and upward. For they were not counted among the children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given them among the children of Israel. These are those who were counted by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who counted the children of Israel in the plains of Moab, by the Jordan at Jericho. But among these there was not a man of them who were counted by Moses and Aaron the priest, who counted the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. For Yahweh had said of them, "They shall surely die in the wilderness." There was not a man left of them, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Numbers chapter 27. Then the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, came near. These are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They stood before Moses, before Eleazar the priest, and before the princes and all the congregation, at the door of the tent of meeting, saying, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among the company of those who gathered themselves together against Yahweh in the company of Korah, but he died in his own sin. He had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from among his family, because he had no son? Give to us a possession among the brothers of our father." Moses brought their cause before Yahweh. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brothers. You shall cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. You shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a man dies and has no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. If he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his kinsman who is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it. This shall be a statute and ordinance for the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Moses. Yahweh said to Moses, "Go up into this mountain of Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. When you have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. Because in the strife of the congregation you rebelled against my word in the wilderness of Zin, to honor me as holy at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah of Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin." Moses spoke to Yahweh, saying, "Let Yahweh, the God of the spirits of all flesh, appoint a man over the congregation, who may go out before them, and who may come in before them, and who may lead them out, and who may bring them in, that the congregation of Yahweh may not be as sheep which have no shepherd." Yahweh said to Moses, "Take Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and commission him in their sight. You shall give authority to him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may obey. He shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire for him by the judgment of the Urim before Yahweh. At his word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. Moses did as Yahweh commanded him. He took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. He laid his hands on him and commissioned him as Yahweh spoke by Moses. Numbers chapter 28. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Command the children of Israel, and tell them, see that you present my offering, my food for my offerings made by fire, as a pleasant aroma to me, in their due season. You shall tell them, this is the offering made by fire which you shall offer to Yahweh. Male lambs a year old without defect, 2 day by day, for a continual burnt offering. You shall offer the one lamb in the morning, and you shall offer the other lamb at evening, with 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a meal offering, mixed with the 1/4 part of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a pleasant aroma, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. Its drink offering shall be the 1/4 part of a hin for each lamb. You shall pour out a drink offering of strong drink to Yahweh in the holy place. The other lamb you shall offer at evening. As the meal offering of the morning and as its drink offering, you shall offer it, an offering made by fire, for a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. On the Sabbath day you shall offer 2 male lambs a year old without defect, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a meal offering mixed with oil, and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, in addition to the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. In the beginnings of your months you shall offer a burnt offering to Yahweh, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without defect, and 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a meal offering mixed with oil for each bull, and 2/10 parts of fine flour for a meal offering mixed with oil for the 1 ram, and 1/10 part of fine flour mixed with oil for a meal offering to every lamb, as a burnt offering of a pleasant aroma, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. Their drink offerings shall be 1/2 a hin of wine for a bull, the 1/3 part of a hin for the ram, and the 4th part of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. Also, 1 male goat for a sin offering to Yahweh shall be offered in addition to the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. In the 1st month, on the 14th day of the month, is Yahweh's Passover. On the 15th day of this month shall be a feast. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days. In the 1st day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work, but you shall offer an offering made by fire, a burnt offering to Yahweh, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old. They shall be without defect. With their meal offering, fine flour mixed with oil, you shall offer 3/10 for a bull and 2/10 for the ram. You shall offer 1/10 for every lamb of the 7 lambs, and 1 male goat for a sin offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these in addition to the burnt offering of the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. In this way you shall offer daily for 7 days the food of the offering made by fire of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. It shall be offered in addition to the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work. Also in the day of the first fruits, when you offer a new meal offering to Yahweh in your feast of weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work, but you shall offer a burnt offering for a pleasant aroma to Yahweh, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old, and their meal offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for each bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for every lamb of the 7 lambs, and 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Besides the continual burnt offering and its meal offering, you shall offer them and their drink offerings. See that they are without defect. Numbers chapter 29. In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work. It is a day of blowing of trumpets to you. You shall offer a burnt offering for a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for every lamb of the 7 lambs, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, to make atonement for you, in addition to the burnt offering of the new moon with its meal offering, and the continual burnt offering with its meal offering, and their drink offerings, according to their ordinance, for a pleasant aroma, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. On the 10th day of this 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall afflict your souls. You shall do no kind of work, but you shall offer a burnt offering to Yahweh for a pleasant aroma. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect, and their meal offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for every lamb of the 7 lambs, 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and its meal offering, and their drink offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work. You shall keep a feast to Yahweh 7 days. You shall offer a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect, and their meal offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for every bull of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each ram of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for every lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meal offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day you shall offer 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, with its meal offering and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering and its meal offering and its drink offering. On the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without defect, their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meal offering, and its drink offering. On the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering and its meal offering and its drink offering. On the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meal offering, and the drink offerings of it. On the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without defect, and their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meal offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn assembly. You shall do no regular work, but you shall offer a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, a pleasant aroma to Yahweh, 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without defect, their meal offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs, shall be according to their number, after the ordinance, and 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its meal offering and its drink offering. You shall offer these to Yahweh in your set feasts, in addition to your vows and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, your meal offerings, your drink offerings, and your peace offerings. Moses told the children of Israel, according to all that Yahweh commanded Moses. Numbers chapter 30. Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. When a man vows a vow to Yahweh, or swears an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Also, when a woman vows a vow to Yahweh and binds herself by a pledge, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and her pledge with which she has bound her soul, and her father says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge with which she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her father forbids her in the day that he hears, none of her vows or of her pledges with which she has bound her soul shall stand. Yahweh will forgive her because her father has forbidden her. If she has a husband, while her vows are on her, or the rash utterance of her lips with which she has bound her soul, and her husband hears it, and says nothing to her in the day that he hears it, then her vows shall stand, and her pledges with which she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband forbids her in the day that he hears it, then he makes void her vow which is on her, and the rash utterance of her lips, with which she has bound her soul. Yahweh will forgive her. But the vow of a widow, or of her who is divorced, everything with which she has bound her soul shall stand against her, if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and didn't disallow her, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge with which she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband made them null and void in the day that he heard them, then whatever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband has made them void. Yahweh will forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband says nothing to her from day to day, then he establishes all her vows or all her pledges which are on her. He has established them, because he said nothing to her in the day that he heard them. But if he makes them null and void after he has heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which Yahweh commanded Moses, between a man and his wife, between a father and his daughter, being in her youth in her father's house,